What's up, guys? Well, welcome back to our channel. I'll be doing a video on what water cooling will do for your computer, specifically what it can let you do to your computer, um, sorts of changes that you'll see when you're operating your computer, and also what you'll experience in your room, which is a big change. So without further ado, um, when you move from air cooling to water cooling for your CPU, air cooling is much easier to install, and when you increase, or rather, when you um, turn it on with air cooling, the cooler will get up to a temperature, or up to a stable a temperature much faster, because it takes less time to reach the point of equilibrium with air. It'll be a higher point of equilibrium, because air has a lower specific heat than water, and it is worse thermal conductor than water. But air coolers will generally cost less. There is virtually no maintenance, really not any, and they take not much time to install. They're kind of big and bulky, but eh. Um, Water cooling, water has a higher specific heat than air, and it's a much better thermal conductor. That's why you see cars, really any modern car, is water cooled. It's got a radiator, it's got a pump. It doesn't really have a cold plate, but it still has a radiator with fans and a heat exchanger. So that's pretty much the basic point or process of water cooling. It takes more heat. It takes the heat more effectively from your components, and through the process of the radiator and the fans, puts it out into your room, which lets you push your components harder. It lets you overclock them more, unless it lets you overvolt them more if you need to, all while staying within a safe thermal range. Also, when you water cool, you can turn down the fan speeds because of the superior nature of water. So that means less noise. When you add in more radiator space, you can then turn the fan speeds down per fan because you've added extra heat exchange capacity. So more radiator is less fan, is more effective at cooling your computer only. Costs more, but it's more effective. Now, it will not cool your room. Your room will get much warmer because what you're doing is getting the heat out of your a computer. Now that heat's got to go somewhere, so it's probably going to go down to your feet or somewhere in your room, unless you have it going out the window or some pipe going out into the outside. It's going to go in your room, which, if you have a lot of components, a lot of components that aren't as effective, like if you're running a GTX 970 and you're overclocking it and it's working hard, and it's running at full tilt, to run at a 1080p. It's making a lot of heat because it's working really hard. If you upgrade your card to, say, a 1060 or a 1070 or even a 1080. Those cards are more advanced, and specifically with the 1070 and a 1080, those are more optimized for a higher resolution, and so working at a lower res means that the card will work less. Sorry for the shake. So water cooling will not make your room cooler. It'll most often times make it warmer, which is how this room currently is. It's quite warm in here. It's about, I don't know, 74 maybe. When the computer's off, it's not that it's about the same as it is out there, but it's pretty warm in here for right now. I can be in here for a while, but it's definitely warmer. But the computer down there is quite cool. I'm generally idling at 30 Celsius on CPU. Graphics card is really whenever it gets turned on. Max load on real bench on my i7 is at 55. That's at 4.3 gigahertz at 1.28 volts. It's got two high performance fans on it, so those are more effective, and they really they got a higher static pressure, so they really crank the air out. They get the hot air out of the computer and put it into your room. So your computer is not gonna lag. It's gonna get through all the fancy graphics. It's gonna be fast. You're just gonna sweat. So just a thing to go and keep in mind. The more water cooling that you do, or the nicer fans that you buy, or the higher flow pump, that will just mean that your computer is more effective. Or you can run the fans slower, which means less noise, which means that it's more appealing, maybe. Yeah, that's about it. Gonna think of gonna come up with some other topics. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated, and we'll be doing more content soon. I will have a couple tripods arriving soon, so we'll be able to put the camera phone, be able to put the phone somewhere else. So, yay. As always, thank you, and we'll see you again soon.